Hello and welcome to this year's final video, which is my top 10 reads of 2023. And these are the 10 manga that I like the most that I read this year. They don't have to have come out this year, I just have to have read them this year. If I read volume 1 last year, then that doesn't count. I have to have started reading it this year. Most of these did come out this year, but there's a couple that didn't, and only 2 of these series I actually completed because most of them are still ongoing. But that's fine, they still count. So anyway, let's get on with the video and go over my top 10 favourite reads, new reads of the year. And Rowan's eating a caterpillar. At number 10, I have The Slice of Life dog manga, Lovely Muko. This currently has 3 volumes out in English, which I've read. Lovely Muko is just a sweet slice of life series about the adventures of a dog called Muko and her owner, Mr. Komatsu, and their everyday lives and what they get up to in a small mountain town in Japan. And this is just a very cute, fun manga. It's episodic. Muko's very cute. So yeah, you just get the fun adventures of Muko. This one is also rated 8 and up, so this is a good manga to give to kids as well, if you want to get them into manga. Muko is adorable. So yeah, there's not much to it. It's just Muko's everyday life and what she gets up to, and it's cute and it's fun. And it's about a dog. And I've got to support those dog mangas. At number 9 on the list is an older series called XDay. I just grabbed them both since it's complete in 2 volumes. This series is by Satona Mizushiro, and I generally like her work. So like After School Nightmare I thought was brilliant. That's one of my favourite mangas. As she also did some BL that I enjoyed. You just look adorable. So yeah, and this was a series that I managed to grab off of eBay this year. So it's complete in 2 volumes. It's a drama shoujo series about 3 high school kids and a teacher who basically they're all fed up with their everyday lives. They're all fed up with school. And they just, what are you growling for? And they all decide one day that they enter into this online chat room and they start talking and they're just like, let's blow up the school. We'll call it XDay, we'll gather fireworks, and we'll just put this plan into action. So it's basically just these 4 people, like, coming to terms with their issues and their problems. And finding something that they're worth living for, basically. And although it's a short series, I did really enjoy it. Super dramatic. What are you growling at? And there's also a short story at the end of volume 2 called Rowan, don't put your caterpillar on me. Called The Last Supper, which I also enjoyed. It was just the 1 chapter. Yeah, that's my 9th favourite read of the year, XDay. Enjoy the author. Enjoyed this one. Super quick read. I sped through it quite fast. Didn't take me long. And now my 8th favourite read of this year was Ise Rhetoric. This is a shoujo mystery series evolving around a girl who can tell when people are lying. She can hear lies. It sounds like a grating noise to her, and because of this ability, she's kind of ostracized in her hometown, and she leaves and she moves to, I think, Tokyo. Is she in Tokyo? I don't actually know. But she ends up finding this detective who is hurting for money, and he needs to solve more cases to pay his rent, basically. And she teams up with him because her ability is useful to him, and so it's this detective and this girl who can hear vibes go around solving mysteries. And yeah, I do enjoy my mystery series, especially my shoujo mystery series, and this is a good one. I do highly recommend this for fans of mystery. The cases are fun, especially Volume 3. I love the case in Volume 3. Volume 3 is the longest case so far, and it took up the entire volume, and I really like this one. This is by Ritsu Miyako, by the way, and I forgot. But Loving Muko is by Takayuki Mizushina. I forgot to say that. Yeah, Ise Rhetoric. Fantastic mystery series. Really enjoyed it. And at number 7 on the list is the second series that I actually finished reading. So that is number 6 by Atsuko Asano and the artist Hiroki Kino. Now this series, the omnibuses for this series did release this year, but the single volumes have been out for a while now. And I have been wanting to read this series for a while, ever since I watched the anime years ago. I heard the manga had a different ending. It doesn't. The manga and the anime have the exact same ending. It must be the novel that has a different ending, and I just got confused. But yeah, this follows a boy called Shion, who was one of the elites in this supposed utopia called Number 6. Like, we have a future where the only inhabitable places on the planet are these cities, and there's like numbers 1 to 6. And Shion lives as one of the elites in Number 6, until one day where he rescues a boy called Rat, who comes from like outside of the city and like the slums, and he's broken into the city and he's a wanted fugitive, and Shion harbors him, looks after him, treats his injuries, and he gets found out and he gets demoted to one of like the bottom class citizens in the city. But then something starts happening. There's this weird disease going around where people are suddenly just rapidly aging and dropping dead, and Rat and Shion like meet up again now as 16-year-olds. They were 12 when they first met. And Shion goes with Rat and teams up with Rat to uncover the secrets and the behind Number 6, and they realise how much this city is not as perfect as it may have seemed, and all the dark webs of secrets that are tangled in its history and its making and its higher ups. It was a very good series. It's a sci-fi shoujo with some BL elements. And yeah, it's a very dark series too, especially as you get into volumes of the omnibuses, like 2 and 3, which is volumes 4 to 9. It gets very dark, and I really like the fact that it's quite dark. And yeah, I did enjoy the anime back in the day, so I was glad to be able to finally read the manga. I don't know if the novels actually ever got English releases, but they would be fun to read too if they ever did, and see what if it was the novels that had the different ending. But yeah, very enjoyed Number 6, and that is why it is number 7 on the list. And at number 6, I have Honey Lemon Soda. Now, this is a series I've enjoyed more with every volume that I've read. It's a high school shoujo about a shy girl who's quite reserved, and because every time she talks to someone she kind of freezes up. She gets the nickname Rocky in middle school. She gets picked on and bullied a lot. And then one day she meets this guy who has like honey lemon soda coloured hair, and he like encourages her, and then she decides to get into the same high school as him, and she vows to become like a better person and get over her faults and like make friends. It's just a super nice series, and as I say, I'm enjoying it more with every volume I read. I've only read 3. I know 4 is out. I haven't got around to that one yet, but yeah, it's just a really good high school shoujo romance, and it is one of the top selling shoujo manga in Japan currently as well. I thought it was very good. It's by Mayu Murata. So yeah, it's just a nice high school romance. I do enjoy my high school romance, and I definitely enjoyed this one this year. I understand why it sells so well. It's very good, and the art too. The art is so pretty. really like this one. And now we're into the top 5. And at number 5, we have The Eccentric Doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom by Toru Himuka. This is a historical fantasy-ish shoujo series about this girl who is a doctor, and she is the first person in like this era to perform surgery on people and stitch them up. It's like kind of unheard of before then, and she lives with her parents. Her dad is also a doctor. And one day, this guy comes to her with he is the crown prince, but she is not aware that he is the crown prince. And she comes to... his friend, his aide, gets injured, and he brings him to her because he's heard rumours of a doctor who can heal people by performing surgeries, and he's kind of trying to use her for his own like political gains and to like gain traction in the war for the throne and stuff. And once she stitches his friend up, he invites her to the capital with him, and she agrees to go because he like bribes her with saying that there's loads of muscly guys there, and she's very into muscles. So yeah, it's... so far I've read the first 3 volumes, and yeah, there is scenes of surgery in here. They don't gloss over it, they do actually show the surgeries, which I thought was very cool. I thought it was a very good one. I do like my fantasy shoujos. This one is set in kind of a... it's more of a historical setting than a fantasy setting, I would say, and it's set in kind of like ancient China. And yeah, it's very fun, and I like the characters too, and the goats are cute. And yeah, that was number 5. At number 4, I have A Reincarnated Witch Spells Doom, and unusual for me to have an isekai in my top reads because I'm not too fond of them, but I really love this one. This follows a girl called Senna, who at 18 years old died in an accident and was reincarnated into this fantasy world as a witch who has strange powers. Like, normally people in this world have powers, but her powers are different to everyone else's. She has the powers to destroy and to perish. So she basically uses her powers of perish as a weed killer, and she like makes small like bombs to blow up rocks and stuff. But because of something that happened when she was little, she becomes isolated and lives in a cottage with her mother. And once she grows up back to 18 years old, her mother has since passed, and she's now living by herself as a hermit witch in this cabin. Until one day, this guy who is I think he's the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, he's one of the princes, shows up to deliver her goods instead of her usual merchant who usually comes to deliver them. And he kind of brings her out of this house and brings her into the world. And she's now following him around, and it's very good. I've read 2 volumes so far. There's also dragons in it, like this one on the back. It involves quite a lot of stuff to do with dragons, and she's now starting to learn more about her magic and where it comes from, and like other people's magic. Like Keith has, I think his powers are to do with air and water. I think he can control both. This is by Sora, and the original story is by Teo Yuzuhara. Yeah, it's if I like an isekai, it must be good, because I'm not usually fond of isekai, but really like this one. Really like this one. Which is why it's at number 4 on the list. And now we go into the top 3, and at number 3, I have Your Former. There's only 1 volume of this currently out of the manga. There is 4 volumes of the light novel out, I think. But I really loved this. And although I've only read 1 volume, I couldn't put it at any lower than number 3 on this list. I even contemplated putting it at number 2, but then I was like, no, I've just read the 1. Keep it at number 3. Anyway, the original story is Maho Kikuchi, and the artist for the manga is Yoshinori Kisaragi, and the character design is Tsubasa Nozaki. This is a seinen sci-fi series which is set in like a futuristic world. I've heard people compare this to Psycho-Pass before, but in my opinion it's more similar to ID Invaded. But we have this futuristic sci-fi world where we follow this investigator called, I forget her name, but Ichika Haida. And she's an investigator, and it's her job to go inside of people's Formas, which is like a chip they have implanted in their mind, which stores like their memories and stuff in. So she goes inside of the Forma in order to search through their memories in order to solve crimes, but she can't do this alone because she needs a tether, someone outside of the memories to pull her back once she's finished. But every tether she's had because of her mental powers are so strong and she's so good at her job, she's all been like too strong for them, and they've all like passed out. So she's given this guy who is an Amicus, which is like an android, as her partner, but she famously hates Amicus. And she's given this guy to be her tether because he's an Amicus, he can then withstand her powers. Out you go. And I think this volume covers about a third of the first light novel, and the manga adaptation has ended with 3 volumes, and I think it will cover the first light novel. But I do have the light novels. I've yet to start reading them. I have a backlog, which is getting longer. So yeah, I really love this. It reminded me a bit of ID Invaded. It's a sci-fi mystery series. Again, I said I like my mystery series. Again, the art was cool. I like the dynamic between these two as well. Because although he is an Amicus, and Amicuses are supposed to obey humans, they're supposed to not be able to go against humans. He's kind of a weird Amicus, and he kind of can go against humans. So yeah, I would highly recommend checking this out. It's only going to be 3 volumes in total, and then maybe have a go at the light novels if you really love it, because I thought this was amazing, and I've only read 1 volume. And it got to number 3 on the list, despite the fact I've only read 1 volume. Anyway, we're going to move on to the final 2. My top 2 of the year. And at number 2, I have My Girlfriend's Child by Mamoru Aoi. This is a shoujo drama series about teen pregnancy and this couple here. We have Sachi and her boyfriend Takara, and they have an incident where the condom breaks. She ends up pregnant. And this manga is basically the story of her pregnancy and going through teenage pregnancy and what that's like and how it affects you physically and psychologically, and the decisions she has to make along the way, and the financial decisions and the like mental toll it's taking on her, and like the decisions of what to do with the pregnancy and all that. And I think it's very good. It's very well done. And the art is very nice too. There's a lot of panels like this don't have words, and it's a very nice series. I think it's dramatic. I like my dramas. So yeah, I currently 3 volumes into the series, and I don't know how long the series is going to be, but obviously it's going to cover the story through her entire pregnancy and probably the birth as well. I assume. But yeah, it's a very nice drama shoujo series that tackles teen pregnancy very well. And I just thought it's very good. And my number 1 series on this list is no surprise to anyone who's been watching any of my videos this year. It's Don't Call It Mystery by Yumi Tamura. I loved this. And then this is a josei mystery. It's one of the best-selling josei series in Japan. It has a live-action TV series and a live-action movie as well. I don't have absolutely no idea where to watch those. I know the sites to go to watch anime, like Crunchyroll, High Dive, other places, but I don't really know where to go other than Netflix to watch like live-action stuff. I'm not really knowing on the websites to get those from. So I haven't seen any of the live actions. I would like to, though, because apparently they are very good, and the film did extremely well in cinemas in Japan. But yeah, this is Josei mystery series about a guy called Totino who just wants to live his life and eat curry. But he keeps getting himself wrapped up in mysteries. The first mystery, which takes up about half of this volume, he gets accused of murder and he has to, like, prove his innocence, but the way he proves his innocence is he sits in the interrogation room and he just talks. And he kind of psychoanalyzes people and he gets into their problems, and he's just great. He's a great main character. He's quite quirky as well, and I just think he's great. Yumi Toro's art style is not one of my favourites. So the art does let it down a little bit, but it has grown on me a bit since I first read Bizarra. Yeah, the art's not my favourite, but the story more than makes up for it. The cases are great, they're intriguing, they're fun. Like, they get you thinking as to who is, like, behind them, and the mystery in volume 3 and 4 with, like, the inheritance was a very good one as well. And I know that 5 and 6 are out. I haven't picked those up yet. I'm behind. I haven't bought November's releases yet, never mind December's, so I'm kind of behind on releases, but this is one I might just grab with the November releases because I just love it that much. Yeah, fantastic mystery series. That's like the third mystery, well, kind of, number 6 is kind of a bit of a mystery, so it's kind of like the 4th mystery series on the list. So I did like a lot of mystery series this year, and yeah, I absolutely love this series, and it should be no surprise that it's at number 1 on the list because I've been going on about this series ever since I first read it. It's fantastic. I love it. And definitely deserving of my number 1 spot of my favourite reads of the year. And that is it. My top 10 manga that I started to read in 2023. And there's your recap. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you had a good Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I will be back in the new year for, like, more hauls, reading logs, trying to think of other videos to do, and yeah. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you then. And goodbye.